New South Wales, too good last night. I'm sure Queensland have had a stern talking to. The weather is perfect for touch football. Low wind, no rain, sunshine. The ground is absolutely quick, fast, suiting Queensland's conditions to a T, Scott.
And one of the talking points from last night is that man with the ball in his hand, the number 13. He's just dished it off to Corey Russell. Harry Griffin last night. Quick trip to hospital. As we see this play unfold, we're looking to put some pressure on him. Was actually coughing blood up after taking a fairly solid shot in the match last night. He's been given the clearance medically. Another player, though, out for Queensland, Tim Bart. Broken collarbone from last night. It was extremely physical. Plenty of times where both teams and players came at each other off the ball and during the match itself. And I feel like it's just going to be more of that this afternoon off the fingertips there of Maurice Kennedy. Queensland back in possession. Corey Russell sends the ball out to that man, Harry Griffin. Courtney from half. Adam Pride down the sideline. Russell feeds it. Damon Moore. Fridlin sweeping on. Links up with Peter Norman, who skipped away from one. Moore into half. Loves the left to right. Oh, could have been on short. Ends up just skipping out in front of the number 14 there, Hayden Moffat.
Good start from both teams. New South Wales and Queensland both completing their sets, which is good to see. Very fast track. You can see the speed of the game's already at a high tempo. You mentioned Harry Griffin. I think it was a bruised lung was the initial diagnosis, Scott. A bruised lung. Imagine coughing up blood the night before, being diagnosed with a bruised lung, coming out and playing an Origin match. That's Queensland hard at the core, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we heard filtering through this morning. Picked off there. We'll let this play unfold. Jesse Jenkins grabbing that one. New South Wales. He played for Queensland early on as Norman forces the mistake. That's experience right there. We mentioned him in game one. You can see the right knee heavily strapped. He's definitely not running at 100%, Peter Norman, but his influence on the park is going to be crucial, and it showed right then. Big play.
Yeah, dominated Tyson Boland in the ruck. Might have been a loose little bobble there, but good drive by Bauer. Benbow unable to capitalise on that good go forward by Queensland. Probably a missed opportunity there by New South Wales. Gifted good field position on the line with a full set, 7 tackles. Unfortunately, losing it on the first.
Coming into last touch now as Hennessy picks up. They switch out the back. And it's
Oh,
come off the hands of James Courtney, but it looked like he was trying to pull them out at the same time.
Hang on a second.
Definitely came off his hands. Might actually be a penalty to Queensland. That might be the thing that's overridden. 6 to go back into New South Wales' hands. And there's a collision here in the ruck. He's happy to let this one play on for the time being. Griffin skips down the sideline. Courtney picked up, has a little bit of a trot. Links up with Peter Norman. Russell into half.
Wow, that was 5th and last too, and Hennessy getting caught, touching Norman around the jaw. Not a good one to give away at that point in time. 5th and last, that's a coach killer, and Queensland now gift a good field position. You've got the likes of Griffin, Norman and Russell. Moffat in there too.
Russell goes early. Little bat over the top. James Courtney to Hayden Moffat. No, they're going to bring it back. No touch in the previous play. Wow. And they're going to get advanced upfield as well. And then we saw this little creep in as well. Queensland got frustrated by a few of the calls last night. They've got to get that under wraps and just keep cool heads.
Good setup though. Big long pass to Courtney out on the wing. Little bat back on the inside to Moffat. There is a big poster of Moffat, I think, in the crowd somewhere. So we'll see if we can get a shot of it. But someone's holding it up. I think it might be his brother.
Ashby plays it now. Hennessy in the half again. Loops one over the top, but it just goes over the head there of Josh Moffat. And now Queensland get advanced up the field. Not returning the ball back to the mark. It takes the tap. Corey Russell on 2. Ooh. Trying to get those over the mark penalties. Jesse Jenkins there. Notley's gone straight through. You're not going to shut him down. The speed going through the middle. And the crowd's up and about as well. Notley goes the big reverse flick back to halfway. You cannot give this kid an inch. He takes it every time.
Notley absolutely taking full advantage of that 1 inch of space. Managed to find his way through, and as soon as he finds that gap, see you later. No one is running down Notley.
He's got a big supporter base. We'll see whether one of our cameramen can pick up. There's about 15 people in the front of the grandstand here with a gazelle. It says the gazelle on the back of their shirt and a big picture of Jakey Notley.
And they were up and about when he was in the open field. Absolutely losing their mind. Tennessee now with the ball.
Holds it, goes short. Kennedy just ripping one out. A little bit of space in front, but as soon as the ball hit his hands, he flung it out. Trying to connect out there on the left-hand side of the field as Adam Pride comes down the sideline. Jaden Benbow.
Oh, got him
messy
put in the ruck.
Yeah, Maurice Kennedy.
You can see Bembo absolutely chirping back at the Kennedy twins.
There's the supporter crew for Jake Notley on screen. The big gazelle shirts on the back. Jakey Notley stretching out. They were absolutely up and about when Jakey got the first try for the match. Queensland now looking for their second with Pete Norman. Looks to be running a little bit freer in game 2. Corey Russell tries to get on the outside. Big touch made. John Kennedy. Russell again linking up back in the midfield with Griffin. Moffat goes back to Griffin. Oh, footwork on the flick on the inside. Just had a little bit too much sauce on it.
Goodness, the footwork from Griffin, the Kennedy brothers, snapped his ankles in half. Unfortunately, the flick pass, you're right, had a bit too much pepper on it for Moffat. However, he was walking in if he could reel it in. But a penalty given away for... Didn't see the direction of the referee, Scott.
Yeah, well, it's a forced substitution. Okay, that's interesting. The forced substitution for New South Wales, but they maintain the penalty. So I'm not too sure. You could only imagine that it was a genuine penalty in the first instance for New South Wales, and I think it was Mitch Wilton there. Might have just had a couple of words to the referee on the back end of it. Simbolan tries to slip in between
I
two
tell you
Queensland
what,
defenders.
Russell, I guarantee you, has got a bit of a grass burn. You just saw him lift up his shirt. Big graze down the left-hand side, putting his body on the line to stop that try from Simbolan.
Tennessee, nice link ball. Good touch there on Jack Edwards. Queensland come out of their end of the field. Touch one with Peter Norman. Griffin can't get away from Masachi. Bailey Assay. Notley again, sees a little bit of space. Cridlin offloads. Benbow running here for Queensland. Pride steadies the ship. Queensland come back towards the middle of the field. Cridlin linking up with Jaden Benbow. Pride picks up, loops over the top. They look to go the bat now. Oh, it's play on here. Bailey Assay's gone. The bat has come off Matalizzo Masachi. Straight back into the hands there of Assay. No, they're going to say touch, but it's going to be 6 to go as now signalled. So Queensland will retain.
How can it be 6 to go, Scott, if he's going to go back and play the ball?
The only thing I can think of is there was some sort of simultaneous connection and touch.
Well, hang on a second. Assay's passed it back. Masachi's knocked it forward back into the arms of Assay. I think New South Wales lucky to get away with that one. Unfortunately for Queensland, again, having to go back and play it. However, another repeat set on the line, and you've got the likes of Russell. Sorry, not Russell. That is Bauer.
And they picked up an error here for Queensland, so not being able to capitalise. This little half chances not falling their way at the moment. Queensland still up by 1 on the scoreboard. New South Wales looking to get their first points on the board. And you see links one over the top to Costello. Oh, drop there from the throat. And we really saw this in game 1. Both teams just pushing things to the absolute edge.
Good shot. Costello really jabbed him up in the throat. He was the victim of a few last night, Costello. Would you say he fell into it, Scott? You can't fall from 6'12", can you?
He's a big man. Definitely got him around that throat region. As we see, Cridlin takes his dive, hits the deck. So does Hennessy, just casually flicks it out the back. Interesting. What's the call here as well? Now they're going to get marched upfield for not returning the ball back to the Queensland team. It's all happening out there, Millsy. Just a little bit of everything at the moment.
You can tell there's a bit of niggle starting to come into the game. Just hope the players don't lose complete control of their heads. Queensland now with a good drive on through Norman.
Russell picks up with the left hand, comes off the left foot as well. Tries to get a little bat on play there. Damon Moore can't connect up with James Courtney out on the right-hand side of the field.
Telling you, the baton should be worth 2. If you get the baton away and you score in the corner, it's got to be worth 2 points surely, as we see New South Wales, unfortunately, coming up with a bit of an error. Forward pass off the ruck called by the referee, Tim Skelly. Again, this is 3 in a row now where Queensland have been gifted a repeat set, or rather than a repeat, just good field position. You've got some firepower out there. You've got Griffin, Russell, Norman and Moore. I'd be nervous if I'm defending that lineup, Scott.
Here we go. Beautiful ball. Corey Russell right at the line. Has a little collision with the referee as well. They're going to point to the spot, and they finally are able to capitalise on that golden field position, like I made mention, Millsy. But it was that ball, that final pass, Corey Russell.
Well, the bruised lung not affecting Griffin whatsoever, but it's Russell on the out with a crisp pass by Moore. Tell you what, it's close by Jesse Jenkins. Might have pipped him at the line, but I think the ball was down by Griffin. It's actually interesting. If you watch the line that Russell ran, he caught that ball on the out, started to straighten at the last minute. You see him drop his shoulders. As soon as he drops his shoulders, that's an indicator for that link to then shut on him because he's going for the try. And at the last minute, just hits Griffin. Again, putting Queensland up 2 tries to 0.
So John Kennedy now plays it. Hennessy comes into half, gets into the in-goal area as well. Now it's been picked off on Queensland. Mal Kenny picks up good meters. 0 touch as well. A new rule change over the last year or so. If you do take an intercept and then you get touched, it will be on 0. So they get full advantage here and running nicely, Queensland. Griffin takes the touch. Fridlin links up with Corey Russell. And set up the try for Queensland on the previous raid and off the hands there of Dylan.
You could see in that play where Mal Kenny got the ball, Queensland had a massive momentum shift going forward, and the coach, Jason Boyd, saw New South Wales rock to the line, not allowing Queensland to really get that strike touch. He wanted Queensland to put their head down and get it, but it's with Russell now.
Yep. Oh, Pride throws a big dummy. Almost put them napping. Pride and Corey Russell work with each other in the middle of the field. Griffin now puts through the middle as well. Little deflection. Oh, and the big swan. No, they're going to take it away. It's going to be a penalty to Queensland, though.
Pretty exciting play there out of half, and Fridlin doing very well to bring that one in.
It's almost like a little mid-air goosey as well as he took the ball. The legs were flying out. And interesting. Griffin now having a dive into the line. Touch made. Kennedy and Timbolan in the middle.
He's tough, Griffin. As we mentioned, bruised lung. Doing him absolutely nothing.
Russell comes off the left foot. Loops one over the top. He's going to sail over the sideline. So 2-0 is the score. New South Wales with Palau as the changes come onto the field. Edwards into half. Dishes. And ball slipping out. But they're going to get a lucky penalty. New South Wales. Queensland players being called offside.
If he would have caught it and played the ball, do you reckon the ref still would have called offside?
Interesting. Very interesting call. Might play advantage in that occasion. Good.
Yeah, he got him. He got him in the jaw, Russell. The boys, the Queensland boys, just need to watch themselves. That's 2 penalties in a row. The next one could possibly have a Queensland player frozen, which means they'll be sitting on the sideline for a full complete set of New South Wales attack. It's Russell. He's in the wars at the moment, isn't he? Grass stains, grass burns. Showing his true Queensland spirit. Marvellous campaign last year, didn't he, Corey Russell?
Ashby sweeps. They go away from the sweeper. Nice short ball there. Maurice Kennedy, he goes over and gets New South Wales' first try of the match, and it was just those repeat sets there for the Blues. Too much for Queensland defending their line. Nice little short ball. Good line run there from Kennedy as well to get there first.
Great peel. Great line, you're right, by Kennedy. Just catching Queensland's defensive link, napping, and the ball goes straight past his face. However, in that circumstance, it's very difficult to catch a ball at such speed when it's zipping past your face. You don't want your jawline in the way of that.
So we will confirm 2-1 is the score. Maybe showing incorrectly at the moment on your screens. Moffat now going over the top. Notley trying to flick it on as well, but it does come off the hands of New South Wales in the first instance. This time it's Queensland who get the repeat set. Notley will kick away from one. There's it back into Liam Bauer. Another penalty. New South Wales hitting the line. Jaden Benbow, Adam Pride, Liam Bauer out there at the moment. Benbow links up with that man Bauer. Late inclusion into the team. He was there in last year's successful campaign for the Queenslanders. Here he goes from half. Tries to slip in between. Doesn't quite get there. Get marched upfield as well. Not returning the ball back to the mark. There, Liam Bauer.
He's picked the ball up after he's been penalised. He may as well throw it another 30 metres away. Can you be penalised twice in a row? I'm not sure.
Wilton. Ooh, New South Wales now turning it over. We've seen this too often throughout the first half. It's been both teams, to be fair, as well. Look, when they should just be rolling through their sets, particularly coming out of their end. Really minor errors, giving the ball back to the opposing team. Queensland back on the run. There's Griffin sweeps around the back. Jinx pumps. And now he hits Costello. You mentioned it, Costello again, pushing off the mark. Now, this would be disappointing if anything further happens here, because he did such a great job defensively. And you mentioned him so many times in game one about you just can't get the ball over the top of his head when he's particularly defending in that right link position. And as he took the ball and went to play it, just a little sneaky push in the back. Wasn't needed.
Ooh,
oh, he's got time.
Wow. Oh dearie me for New South Wales. They will now be defending with 5 players against Queensland 6 as Justin Costello spends some time in the naughty corner. A little bit of a jab on a Queensland player in the process of making the touch. But it's good defensive effort by Jesse Jenkins. And New South Wales need to be very careful here. They could be down to 4 if they make any more penalties on their line, which would be very interesting, but very entertaining, Scott.
Absolutely. That's a really important point that you make. Fridland, Moore goes away. They've got the numbers advantage, but they just need to look to set up again. They come in and try to disrupt. Now, it's another penalty within the 7.
Wow.
Gone to the bin as well. Now, this is even like an irregular occurrence when you give multiple penalties away, 3 in the 7-metre zone. Usually one player goes to the sideline. He has sent Wilton down to the end of the field as well, into the bin, and they are playing with 4. Now, they've got to score, Queensland. They'll rip it out more into the in-goal area. Just has to connect, and they finally will. Well, this is massive. This is a massive moment in this game. 2 New South Wales players down in the bin at the moment, and they'll be down there for a while.
Well, it's 2 to 3 completed sets that New South Wales have to play before Justin Costello is then allowed to come back into the play. That will then be 5 on 6. Then they have to wait another set before the other New South Wales player gets to come back in. So Queensland have the upper hand here late in the first half. If New South Wales are smart enough, they will try and drain as much time as possible just to get through to half-time.
Let's see how this unfolds. Quite a unique situation for the Queensland as well. There's not too many times where you're defending with a full set, a full complement of 6 players against 4. How do they manage to do it here? They've got numbers out this way. New South Wales, stop it. That is unbelievable. How? How does that happen? 6 on 4? No, referees are holding things up. It all looks good from up here in the commentary box.
You've got to give that. 6 on 4 and New South Wales. No way.
Are they taking it away? Now the third referee
comes-
coming in.
Here comes the conference. How can he see anything from over this side?
It's a very interesting call. Now Peter Norman's getting
Hang on a
called over.
second. This could be Norman spending some time in the naughty corner with a foot in the ruck. I think it's a try. They're just debating what action to take with Peter Norman. And tell you what, Badger's pointing at him. I don't know what's going on.
The ball's coming back. There's just finger pointing everywhere. Benbow. Norman's trying to put it back onto the referee. He's pointing, saying it was you. Benbow's starting to walk away.
This is
There's
an
still finger pointing here.
absolute catastrophe. I have no idea what's going on. You're right, a lot of finger pointing.
New South Wales are starting to head towards the box. They're done with this. Just shaking hands and giving high fives. The referee's still coming.
So there's obviously a discretion happening in the play the ball where, see,
Oh,
Hayden
yeah,
Moffat
Hayden
has been
Moffat's gone.
sent to the sin bin. I knew there was something that's going on. I think it was a foot in the ruck. He tried to disrupt the play the ball, but Nick Good was good enough to actually pick it up and set up the try and come up with the try assist. I tell you what, that took, a minute and a half to sort of settle out. 2 minutes. That was just an absolute conference if I've seen one before.
I can only imagine the confusion came then when, if Moffat was the person, I think they were just trying to identify who the actual person was that impeded in the ruck. Moffat might have done it and then just shot off to the sideline to try and get himself out of there. Well, that is an unbelievable finish to the half. I've never seen anything like it.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like it as well. So that being said, we've got 2 New South Wales players in the bin, and just after the halftime siren has been sent, a Queensland player has been sent to the sin bin. So that means it's going to be 5-on-4 when we return to the second half, and it is 3 tries to 2 in favour of Queensland.
Yep.
But I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
Oh, unbelievable. As we have a look here, okay, it was
Yeah.
Moffat, so they got the right person. Now let's just watch Moffat on screen. Yeah, he just starts to shoot out. I think he knows that he's done, and he just goes, I'm just going to squeeze out of this. But we might just continue to roll on here during half-time if you want, Jackson, because there was so much to unpack there. We saw it in in game 1. Didn't think that there was Park second half is about to get underway now. What are we going to see in the second 20 after what we just endured in the first? Game on the line, series on the line. Queensland looking to take it to a decider this evening as they play out the back. They've still got the numbers advantage, Queensland, but it took James Courtney having to get on the wheels and come in to shut that one down. They still haven't quite worked out the numbers differential between the two teams.
Well, as a player, it's so weird. You're playing 4 against 5. You don't normally train for something like that. It's normally 6 against 5 or 5 against 5.
Here, a little bit of space down the sideline. The big man starting to stretch out. He's got the big leg pumping, and he is going to slam it down. Nick Good. No, it's not good. Oh, it is. Who says to the referee, no, it didn't get him, but that was smart footy from Queensland. They went early in the set and Assay down the sideline. They couldn't reel him in.
Bit of eyes up footy. We love to see it. As we mentioned, there's a lot of space on the field, and Norman electing to go straight up the wing, and Hennessy fortunately having to come in, but Notley sees Assay out in space and watch him pull away. Good. Hennessy trying to chase him down, but the big man, Assay on debut for Queensland, just streaking away from the defenders.
So New South Wales have now returned. They've got their full 6. So now they've got the numbers advantage because Moffat still down the back of the in-goal area at the moment. So interesting facet now with New South Wales having one player up. Crane off the left foot, opens up for Moffat. Ooh, had that spilled out. Ooh. Let's have a little look. We were pretty poor in making some decisions last night with a couple that we thought bobbled, but we both groaned at the same time. But it's one of those ones that might have just hit the deck and spewed out. Let's have a look.
I don't know. We've come to the conclusion that you're pretty much blind, Scott. So I'd say he's got the ball there and it's just come out of the mid after he's
I'm
placed
happy
it
to
down.
get that. It's dead set right in front of the on-field there. You're always heart in your mouth type stuff when you just see the ball spill out, but no question. Good response, New South Wales. 4-3 brings them back down to that 1 try margin. Moffat still in the in-goal area at the moment, so Queensland playing with 5. Can they score this time around as Fridlin? He takes a lot of shots as well, doesn't he? He runs hard and fast into the line.
Fair penalty though. Jack Edwards coming out of the line. No real intention to make a touch, more like a shoulder charge.
Oh, for
And as you
substitution.
see, if they can play it now, it's 5-on-5 and Cridlin electing to do just that. Get the ball down, Crido.
Placement play coming onto the field now, Kennedy. So they don't, they get the penalty as well.
That's 2 penalties in a row. One more penalty against New South Wales, and they'll have someone sitting on the sideline. So it will be 5 on 5. The Queensland are probably going to search for the penalty as well.
Griffin runs, no. Going to get taken away from Queensland. Correct play the ball, I think it's the call as Moffat goes down the sideline. Adam Pride will come onto him. Now we're finally back to 6 on 6. It seems a bit weird seeing both teams with 6 players on each side of the fence. There's Wilton, the man, and Costello. And they should be fresh after having a couple of sets off. Sarchi comes back midfield. Wilton. Sarchi playing in the middle at the moment. He's going to have to, as the changes come onto the field. Dylan Hennessy, ball in hand. Kennedy plays it. John Hennessy picks up, loops it out. They got numbers in space out there on the right-hand side. And Kyson Molan slams it down. Back-to-back tries from New South Wales. Locks us up at 4 apiece.
New South Wales had a great roll on. Hennessy coming out of half, skipping, jinking, and heading over to Sim Boland's side. Again, splitting the defensive line between Kenny and Pride out on that left-hand touchline. Making it look easy, New South Wales. Exciting stuff here. You mentioned it's back to 6 on 6. So hopefully the boys will begin to settle back into their old structures.
Norman into half more. Don't get through. Touch is made. Norman directing traffic. Sends William Bauer into the middle of the field. Bauer now plays it. Just shy of the 7 metre. Notley, bit of space there for him. Linked up with Damon Moore. He can't slice through. Defence from New South Wales. Good now. Offloads. Gets into half again. Meters here from New South Wales is good. Through the hands. Good pressure. Assay, the try scorer for Queensland. Blau goes down the right-hand side of the field. Changes here for the Blues. Wilton on. Hennessy picks it up. It's away from one. Flicks around the back. Big looping ball out to Jenkins. He can't bat it back in field.
How about that pass from Hennessy? Just casual as you like, flicking it around the back. Some of these players able to do some freaky stuff. Would be nice, wouldn't it, Scott?
Haven't quite got those skills in the back pocket, that's for sure. That's why we're up here and they're down there. Bembo. Costello tries to go for the no touch. Bembo making contact. Quidlin now links back up with Harry Griffin. Quidlin plays it. Moffat goes the wraparound play. Oh, Griffin holds it right to the line. A little bit too late as well.
Tell you what, that pass and deception from Griffin had Luke Kane in all sorts. He was looking left, looking right. He had no idea where the ball was. A good touch in the end by Wilton, the saving middle. New South Wales look to drive up their side of the field.
Hennessy steaming onto the ball. Feeds it to John Kennedy. Tries to flick it out the back. And come back into the midfield for a touch and pass penalty. Gives the teams just that quick little second to grab a breather. Queensland can tap it and get underway pretty quickly. Griffin. The penalty in the ruck. The players offside might have actually been the call. Now we're back to that full 6 on 6 complement. Last few sets have just been up and down the park. Either side haven't really grabbed any ascendancy at the moment, but off the penalty, Queensland in good field position. Pride gives early ball to Russell, comes off the left foot.
Russell got
contact again.
Absolutely by Kennedy. John Kennedy at that. Giving Russell just a little bit of a love tap. Now the referees are going to have a chat again because it was a significant shot. Russell took a tumble. Look at him smiling. He's smiling in the background. And Kennedy, late shot. Nothing in
body
that.
on body.
Yeah, nothing in that. I thought it was a bit more than what I saw.
Oh, he's got
kidding me.
time as well.
You are kidding me. Well, John Kennedy, the 4th player to be sent to the sin bin in this matchup. And I tell you what, that's a soft call by the referees. There was absolutely nothing in it. Corey Russell sold it absolutely perfectly. But as we said, Scott, it was just body on body. There's nothing in it whatsoever.
Oh, Queensland again now. They've got the numbers advantage. Norman throws the dummy. Oh,
Tim Boland. Look at the reaction of him too. Simbolan getting up and letting Norman know he got him. It's what we like to see.
Notley creates the numbers, and Jenkins almost gets it straight back onto the footy here. Notley pumps. Oh, they go early in the touch count. Russell's down again.
He's in the absolute wall. So the referee's called ball down. So it's going to be New South Wales ball.
Oh, he's grabbing the arm, and we've already lost one Queensland player.
Oh dear.
Let's have a look. Notley pumps into another Kennedy. It was a little bit of a flick of the elbow there.
He's actually clutching at the ankle, Russell. So hopefully it's just a little bit of a sprain. Hopefully he can run off, but he's not in a good way. I mean, look at him. He's a tough customer. As tough as they come, Russell. But he's not in a good way at all. Good going over trying to help out his fellow Australian teammate.
Struggling to get to his feet, as you can see, in the hands of the medical staff and manager Gary Benbow. Try and take him off the back.
Yeah, that's a very disappointing sign for Queensland supporters. He's in a lot of pain.
Still throwing a bit of chat as well on his way out.
Still throwing his chat. As I said, the ultimate competitor, Corey Russell. He's probably one of the best players to play with and the worst to play against because he's absolutely at you all game long. He seems to be walking on it a little bit better down the back. He's walking by himself unassisted, so that's good to see for Queensland. Hopefully he can just run it off, maybe get a bit of strapping and head out late in the second half.
Queensland give away a penalty here on touch 5, offside, and correct call as well. So still down one player at the moment, New South Wales. Good. Takes his time. We'll set up here with Dylan Hennessy. Hennessy gets it back. They pump. Nick Good plays it a whisker away from the try line. Too close. Queensland just come up and snuff that play out. So we saw them score when they had the numbers advantage against them. Oh, Kenny floating down the sideline. Now he loses it. Yeah, good call again. Got away from the first, and it can be quite difficult when you drink away from the first defender, and then the second one comes across.
So it must be one more set before Kennedy is allowed to re-enter the New South Wales bench. They're asking for him to come back on. I don't know how many sets it's been, Scott. I've literally lost count.
I saw the on-field referee, Tim Skelly, give them the 3 signal, so 1 to go. It's quite easy to lose track of how many sets when the game is playing at this frantic pace. Early ball, just scooping it out in one hand. Out to Jack Edwards. They're still locked up at 4 tries apiece.
What if New South Wales can score here? That'd be something special. That'd be 2 tries with down a player as Hennessy fires one, the old tunnel ball. We love to see a good tunnel ball, Scott.
Oh, it's one of the great sports.
I think it's one of the best tries I've ever seen in touch football. I think it's literally marked as the best.
Oh, Norman now, plenty of space. Look at the goods as well. Holds the ball, good experience there, Peter Norman. Yeah, he's running a lot more freely here in game 2, no doubt. Doing the hard yard still. Queensland, that gets them on the front foot. Good attacking position here. Can they get back out in front? Griffin takes his time. Adam Pride now pointing, directing, plays it now on the 7. Benbow from the ground. Oh, beautiful ball out to Adam Pride. Courtney has all the time. Yeah, they left it to the last minute. They get it down. They're going to give it all clear. Nice work. Beautiful setup, Adam Pride. Putting it on the tee.
Great try by Courtney. It looked like it was in slow motion to me. Look where he catches it on the 7. And just manages to get there. I tell you what, the dive actually made it because Moffat was coming across with some good pace. And he was there. Moffat would have got him, but Courtney able to move his body in such a position where the New South Wales defender in Moffat could not get to him.
It was a hard one for him to take because he was flat-footed waiting for the ball to pretty much come to him. He had to grab it and then take off. It was a classy finisher, James Courtney. Ooh, short there as well. Maurice Kennedy slapping the hands. He knew if he grabs onto that, there was no one in front.
And just a reminder to everyone, New South Wales did take out the first game, so this is a must-win for Queensland. And I tell you, it's a good sight for Queensland at well. Corey Russell has re-entered the substitution box for Queensland, so hopefully we can see him back on the paddock.
Bauer feeds it out the back to Damon Moore. Benbow does the same. Harry Griffin from half. They might look to set up here for Griffin, who's got the ball in hand. Take their time. New South Wales have to move forward, being within the 7-metre zone. Bit of direction now as Damon Moore comes in, loves the left to right, gets away from one. No. John Kennedy. He almost skipped on the outside there, Damon.
Damon Moore had the right option, just probably stepped a little bit too late. If he came off his right foot maybe 1 second earlier, I don't think Kennedy made it back to the line. So missed opportunity there by Queensland, but the right idea though from Damon Moore.
Penalty to New South Wales, Queensland being called offside. Blau comes in field. You see that quite often, coming in from the flanks, getting his team going forward, and he does a good job on those 2 touches. Nick Good now, ball in hand. Boland looks to sweep. Another penalty. Queensland not moving forward off their line. Full set of 6 here for New South Wales. Nick Good. Experience. Here he goes. Early ball. Boland back into Nick Good. Plays it. They're on the ropes here, Queensland. Now they hold firm. A little bit of space out there.
Wow.
Beautiful hands from Hennessy. On-field referee Kim Skelly's called time off, even though the clock will continue to roll.
Surely there's not another player that goes to the sin bin. I swear 5 minutes of this game has been referees talking to one another.
Oh, Liam Bauer getting called out of the line now.
Here we go again. This will be the 6th player to go to the sin bin. Ooh.
Poor substitution. They still have the short advantage until another Queensland player comes on. Edwards sends it back in field. Adam Pride does get onto the field. He'll flow around the back. Hennessy plays it. Edwards gives it. Right foot. Get through. Benbow onside, making the touch. Kennedy from half. Edwards sweeps. Takes it in one hand, puts it into the left. Now, Edwards is down on the deck. Gets back to his feet now.
Would have been a little option back on the inside if Kennedy was trailing Edwards. Covering middle, I think it was Bembo, wasn't actually collapsing back on the inside, so there was a gap forming. A good defence, nonetheless, by Queensland.
Tashi comes up and makes the first touch. Griffin now, contact Hennessy. Bit of sportsmanship there. Actually came over to make sure that Griffin was okay, but in the same time, looking at the referees going, what for? Penalty to Queensland. Moffat. Dishes from half. Fridlin, Peter Norman. Plays it just shy of the 7-metre line. Moffat, early ball. Notley tries to bat it on early in the touch count.
Great read by Jesse Jenkins out on that right-hand touch line for New South Wales. Good decision to come streaming in like that. Unfortunately, if the ball goes long, there's not much you can do. So it just shows how good these wingers are, being able to read such a difficult pass.
Good, picked up from half. Linked up with Moffat. A little bit of a juggle there from Dylan Hennessy. Josh Moffat in the number 7, who's coming up to make the touch for New South Wales. Hayden Moffat on the other side for Queensland. Goes into the interchange area as well. Griffin comes onto the field. Nice roll. Corey Russell's back out there. Doesn't look 100% at all. Nice long ball out to Adam Pride. Comes against the grain. Little bat on play there. Russell holds on to it. Madalito comes in and snuffs that one out.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't look 100%, does he, Russell? He's limping back. Just on the left of your screen, number 5 with the backwards cap.
He's really digging in. They might look to target him here in defence, knowing he's not 100% as the Kennedys link up out to Palau. And it's going to be comeback penalty towards Queensland. Touch and passes the call. Yeah, I'm not too sure whether we're going to see Corey Russell stay out there for much longer. You can see him just coming into the screen now. He's going to take this first hit up.
5 tries to 4, 2.5 minutes to play. Queensland in front by 1 and need to win this game because obviously New South Wales have won the first. So this is an important 2 minutes for Queensland. Just need to complete sets, get the ball down the other end, and the tries will come, especially when you've got the likes of Bembo driving it in for Damon Moore. New South Wales electing to roll back to the line. And Queensland maybe sneaking out, trying to sniff a penalty. Winding down as much time as possible.
As Moore pumps, takes the touch now, steps back in field. A little bit of footwork here from Damon Moore. Can't get away from the two Kennedy boys. Making the touch. Ball back in possession to New South Wales. Bowling on 1. Take another one on 2.
Ooh,
Oh,
no.
they come to Queensland
Oh,
here.
wow. So, Scott, a minute and a half. Do you just throw it round as Queensland just to try and drain as much time as possible? You know, try and sniff out a penalty from the New South Wales defence. That's exactly what I'd be doing, trying to waste as much time as possible. Doing exactly that. What Notley's doing. They got Norman on. He's got great gamesmanship, a lot of experience at this level. Him and Russell. They know exactly what to do, just depends on the execution.
Moffat inside the Russell. We saw that last night in game 1. They make the touch this time around. Corey, I think we'll hobble on that ankle for as long as possible. 1 minute to go. On the clock, game 2 here. Men's Open. Here is on the line. Queensland looking to take it to a decider later on this evening. Oh, it's Notley squeezed through. No, he hasn't. Again, bodies colliding from both teams. Notley flings one out to James Courtney and slaps it down. Righto, here we go. 40 seconds left. New South Wales to go all the way down the other end. Can they get down there? Boland. Kennedy now sliding across field, looking a little bit flat in the first few touches of this set. Hennessy, there's no half in place here for New South Wales. Hennessy can't pick it up himself. Queensland didn't want anything to do with it. As Wilton picks it up, this is last touch, last chance here for New South Wales, and the diving touch there, Justin Cridland. And that might be game. They'll tuck it under the wing. The clock's starting to wind down. Cridland falls down to the deck. Hooter goes in the background, and we have a decider on our hands.